As the project manager overseeing a new software implementation, you are estimating contingency reserve for the project. How should you determine the correct contingency reserve? Option A, allocate an additional 10% as a general contingency practice. Now, in many organizations, such practices are used. You have a project cost, and based on your historical information, you have some percentage number given by your organization, and you add 10% contingency, 20% contingency, and you say, this is going to be my project budget or my project timelines. So maybe a part of your organization practice, but not necessarily we can consider it as a good practice in our project management, because just putting a number on top of your estimate may not be the good estimation. So let's see if we can get better option. We just keep option A little bit aside. Option B, negotiate the reserve amount with your stakeholder, secure as much as possible. This is also a possible practice which happens in many organizations. You know that this is the estimate and I need to ask for some contingencies. I may start from 20% and then keep negotiating until the time my stakeholders don't agree. I adjust, negotiate, and probably we adjust wherever we find is possibly acceptance level, but I try to add as much as contingency as possible. You might be doing it as a project manager, but that's not a good practice. It is not like as much I can negotiate, I can put as a contingency. We should have some more proper estimation behind our contingency estimate. Yeah, but maybe practiced in many organizations. Option C, assess based on factors such as cost estimation, uncertainties, and the current risk profile of the project. Perfect. And this term is called reserve analysis. So I need to conduct a reserve analysis. I need to see how much uncertainties are there in the requirement, how much, what kind of risk we have in our risk register, what kind of score they have, what kind of overall impact we project on the risk if these things can go wrong. And based on that, I need to do a reserve analysis and come to a number. That number could be a percentile number, that number could be an absolute number, but I do a reserve analysis, and that's the right way to answer the PMP question. So I put the data and the analysis and I come to a reserve number. Option D, forego any contingency reserved and rely strictly on the estimate. It's not also a great idea. So contingencies are not bad. The word buffer is bad, which means you should not be adding things without having a justification for it, without having some foundation for it. Adding contingency will take care of some of the uncertain event and bring predictability in your project. So many times you think that contingencies are bad. It is not, but you should have a reason for it. So option D is also not good, where you are saying that I will go without contingency. So you don't use any thumb rule. You use reserve analysis to find out what is the right contingency needed for my project. And that's why the option C looks the best option here.